Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where every week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we discuss what's going on in our business. Plus, we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be talking to Patrick of Feet Finder. Adult Site Broker is proud to announce Adult Site Broker Cash, the first affiliate program for an adult website brokerage. With Adult Site Broker Cash, you'll have the chance to earn as much as 20% of our broker commission, referring sellers and buyers to us at Adult Site Broker. Check our website at adultsitebroker.com for more details. First of all, today, let's cover some of the news going on in our industry. Pornhub has announced that Kira Noir has joined Pornhub's brand ambassador team. In her new role, Noir will appear in future Pornhub campaigns, represent the platform at various events, and engage with Pornhub's audience to grow brand awareness. Pornhub VP Corey Price said, "We're thrilled to welcome Kira Noir to the Pornhub family as one of our brand ambassadors. Kira is a strong, passionate woman who has a great sense of humor. We were really drawn to her confidence and fierce ambition. She embodies our commitment to celebrating individuality and self-expression above all else. Kira has built a devout following across social media. She shares in our desire to grow the Pornhub brand by building meaningful relationships with new and existing users. We can't wait to show our fans what we have planned together." 2 months after warning of a surge in malvertising fraud targeting adult websites, internet security experts have determined that the bad actors behind it have switched tactics from exploit kit delivery to social engineering via a fake Java update screen. Malvertising, where bad actors sneak malicious codes into supposedly legitimate banner ads on legitimate websites, made a comeback this year as people spend more time online and visiting adult sites. Security firm Malwarebytes explained the initial stage of this campaign, which they dubbed Malsmoke, as ads that redirect visitors to sites that serve malicious code. When viewed with Internet Explorer or Adobe Flash, the code can exploit critical vulnerabilities in unpatched versions of Internet Explorer. Malwarebytes initially warned that. Malwarebytes announced that starting mid-October, the threat actors behind Malsmoke appear to have phased out the exploit kit delivery chains in favor of social engineering scheme instead. The new campaign is tricking visitors to adult websites with a fake Java update. This change is significant, according to the security firm, because it drastically increases the target audience, no longer limiting it to Internet Explorer users running outdated software. One of the largest adult sites targeted by the malvertising hackers, according to Malwarebytes, is Xhamster. Be careful out there. Past Adult Site Broker Talk guest Lance Hart is the subject of the latest interview by LGBTQ pop culture and news publication Instinct, where he discussed his influential career path. Instinct's Ryan Shea described Hart as a jack of all trades in the industry for several years now, with no signs of stopping anytime soon. He's a great example of excelling in front of and behind the camera while also being part of a porn power couple with his gorgeous wife Charlotte. Hart told Instinct that a key to his ongoing success is independently owning his own company, Pervout. He said, "I've been focused on making my own content ever since I started in the adult space. Getting paid bookings as a performer has always just been a bonus. As a producer who funds all my content from my own sales, I can keep going as much as I want. I never have to count on anyone else giving me work." Hart described his trend-setting career path, smashing the barriers between different sides of the industry in practical terms. "At first, gay porn was the only part of the industry that offered paid work to me. So when the work was a fit, I would take it." He told that to Instinct. Then trans porn became more popular and those gigs started coming to me. A couple years ago, Devil's Films put a lot of work into making bi porn a relevant thing, so that's helped. I feel like I identify more as bi than anything else, so I'm happy about that last part, hard at it. Now, time for our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. We're proud to offer for sale a novelty manufacturer and website with pop culture themed silicone products. Their products are niche yet relevant to mainstream audiences and are incredibly shareable, as evident by the hundreds of articles written about the brand on outlets such as Playboy, Vice, BuzzFeed, Mashable, Penthouse, Lad Bible, Cosmo, Nerdist, Refinery 29, Pop Sugar, and more. They also have a die-hard community of more than 40,000 social media followers, in addition to their email list of over 10,000. All traffic to the website is self-created, no ads have been purchased. The traffic is all organic, social, and direct. This company can and has been run by 2 people part-time, or it could be scaled up or merged with a much larger company with very minimal effort. The company has incredible potential for expansion, but it also has a solid 4 years history of year-over-year growth and a huge community of dedicated fans. All manufacturing equipment is provided with everything needed to continue running the business, including all product molds and related materials. Also included is about $50,000 worth of product stock. You get all this for only $675,000. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Patrick, the owner of Feet Finder. Patrick, thanks for being with us today on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Thanks for having me. Ready to begin and excited to talk about Feet Finder.
Indeed. Now, Patrick recently graduated from Drexel University with a degree in entrepreneurship. I'm surprised I was able to pronounce that. And he's been working on Feet Finder for a little over a year. Patrick has years of experience in numerous other industries. Despite his tender age, you're what, 23 now?
24, but yes, recent college grad.
All right. Happy birthday. You had a birthday in there. Feet Finder is a free website that allows users to buy or sell custom foot content in a safe and secure environment. Buyers can send custom requests to ID verified content providers or purchase their content directly from a seller's account. Feet Finder was built by the community, with every feature and design change being shaped and reviewed by the 45,000 plus followers on Feet Finder's social media accounts. Patrick, how did you get the idea for Feet Finder?
Great question, Bruce. And typically, whenever I tell someone, I'm working on Feet Finder, their first question is, "Oh, so you definitely have like a foot fetish." I myself don't personally have a foot fetish. It would make working on this idea a lot easier. But how I actually got the idea was a few of my friends in college actually would get DMs from guys on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. One of my friends actually paid her rent from selling feet pics, but the DMs would always be guys reaching out saying, "Hey, can I buy a photo of your feet for $20, $100?" One of my friends at Tipping Point actually sold a photo for $500, and I kind of thought, "Hey, why is there a website for this?" So kind of did some market research, went online, and at the time there was no kind of existing website for buying and selling feet pictures. It was mostly just blog articles like, here's how you can do it on social media. Here's like some tips and tricks if you want to start your own website. I know there was like OnlyFans, many clips, but nothing really for the niche of feet content. So sure enough, I said, all right, let's see if there's actually a market for this. Decided to create the Feet Finder Twitter. Essentially was saying, hey, this is the product we're creating, a safe and secure website for people to buy and sell feet content. And it kind of blew up overnight. Within a week, we had up to 500 followers, and that was all organic. So started, working on getting a team to help develop it. And fast forward to, present day, we launched on April 16th of this year. Put a lot of time, energy, and money, and it's been a really great experience kind of creating this platform for the community.
You've done all this since April 16th.
So I actually have been working on it since about last June, but we didn't launch.
But I mean, you launched April 16th, and it's already gotten this far.
Correct. Yep. So it's definitely been a wild ride and learning a lot.
Now, even though you don't have a foot fetish, have you found yourself appreciating women's feet a little bit more now that you have the site?
Well, that's a great question. It's definitely, something I notice a lot more. Again, I
Hmm.
wouldn't say
Sure.
necessarily attracted to the feet, but if there's a scene in TV or someone uploads a picture, obviously one of the first things I see is, their feet, because again, my whole business does revolve around feet. I wouldn't be able to tell you necessarily what's like a good and bad foot picture, but it is kind of interesting how, anytime you see I pay attention a lot more now if like someone's wearing open-toed shoes or someone uploaded a photo on the internet and their feet are in it, or again you just see a movie and there's a scene. It's definitely more noticeable now, and that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm more of a tits and ass man myself, and legs, and about every other part of the woman's body. I don't think feet would be near the top, but there are some beautiful feet. Did you? I know you're young, but did you ever see that Eddie Murphy movie? Oh God, what was it called? Boomerang. Did you ever see that?
I have not seen that now.
Okay, yeah, it's probably 20 years old. It's almost as old as you. I suggest you find it and watch it. It's freaking hilarious. It's Eddie Murphy and Robin Givens. It's got quite a cast in it. And Robin Givens is the one that Mike Tyson had punching practice on when he was married to her. Now, what do your friends and family think about you doing this?
Yeah, so again, another great question. And, that was kind of one of those things. The first person I told about the idea was my dad, because he is kind of a successful entrepreneur on his own. So more so was doing it to kind of get some business advice, like, hey, what's your
Sure.
thoughts, feedbacks? Here's the business model. And he was extremely supportive. Being an entrepreneur, he's like, hey, it doesn't really matter the idea as long as, you're confident in a market and you think it can be successful. Why wouldn't you
Mhm.
pursue that?
Exactly.
Then all my friends, is kind of a mix of some people laughing, saying, hey, that's kind of funny, some people saying, hey, there's actually, this is a really good business model, it's really cool. And then my mom was kind of funny because it was one of those things where I was kind of nervous in the sense where, oh, she's either gonna be like, what the hell, or she's gonna kind of laugh. And it's kind of a mix of, she was like, is this like, she was more so confused at the like, oh, is this an idea? But she's been incredibly supportive, and so is the family. So it's been kind of nice to see, as Feet Finder grows and becomes more and more kind of legit, we get more users, we get more revenue. There's kind of a lot more confidence in talking about it to other people, because while some people might not understand the concept of buying and selling feet pics, we can mention the
Mhm.
fact of how many users we have, the sales we've done, and they start taking you a lot more seriously. That also kind of plays into like
Yeah.
when we're talking to partners and people to work with.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't understand the initial idea. Then you kind of mention, hey, well, here's what we're doing in revenue, here's how many users we have in X amount of time, and they'll quickly shift from confusion to interest.
So, how? So that leads into my next question. How does the platform make money?
Yeah, so we've kind of modeled Feet Finder similar to a lot of the um, apps out there, like
Mhm.
OnlyFans,
Sure.
even like the Uber, Lyft models, where we essentially take a percentage
Hmm.
for different photos and videos sold. So essentially, anytime a user sells a picture or a video, we take a
Hmm.
20% fee, which is pretty standard across the entire industry. I
Sure.
know there's some websites that take upwards of 90% or even more
Right.
than that. So we try to be as fair as we can to the models and give them as much as we can, similar again to the other big websites. Now we do also have a kind of premium subscription, which is very cheap. It's only $5 a month,
Hmm.
and for the sellers, it allows them to message the buyers directly, because again, social media and stuff is all flooded with so many different scammers, time wasters, bots. You don't know if people are real or not. So sellers can pay just a very small fee, and they can message those buyers directly. They can also upload just unlimited amounts of content. We do also have some great features again coming down the road that will make it even better for premium users, and for the buyers, again, they can message those sellers directly and kind of get that custom content, and figure out exactly what they want and negotiate prices in the messages with the sellers. Again, we
Hmm.
do have a more features for those premium users. But those are the two kind of main things in terms of how we make money. We don't have ads on the site, and it's completely free to sign up because we want to give everyone a chance to, sell their content and kind of make some money or be able to find someone to purchase content from.
You want to preview any of those features on Adult Site Broker Talk?
Yeah, definitely. So some of I'd say probably our coolest feature is the ability that the buyers can see previews of all the content. So anytime a seller uploads a photo or video, it's automatically blurred by our site. So you can take a clear, high quality photo, upload it, and then it gets automatically blurred to the point where a buyer can't just screenshot it and say, you know what, I don't want to purchase this because I have it right here. But it also, is blurred to the point where the buyer still gets a preview to be like, hey, this looks like something I actually want. It matches the description I see, or it matches the custom request I sent. So the buyers know that, they're getting what they requested. And, worst case, it's one of those things, our admins are able to monitor everything. So if there is ever an order where a buyer, pays for something and, the photo isn't at all what he expected, or vice versa, the seller uploads something and the buyer's payment is either a chargeback, we're able to monitor that and then kind of fix through that. Any users who attempt a chargeback, we can fight those and also, ban that user. And any buyer who, purchases content and sees that, hey, this isn't what I purchased, we can give them a refund and figure out just exactly what happened to that seller. And again, all sellers are ID verified. So, for a fact that everything you purchase it's real. It's not a bot. It's not someone selling fake content. It's a real, ID verified 18 years and older person.
Mm-hmm. Now, are those current features or some of the new features?
These are all current features.
So tease me a little bit with some of the new features coming up.
So some of the new features coming up is we have an entire new kind of homepage and navigation that's going to be really cool. Essentially, right now, when you go to the website, you only kind of see, hey, do you want to view content or, view sellers, as well as, it's kind of seeing the user's profiles. Photos are a little small and then sort like that. So our new kind of homepage and navigation will make it really easy for buyers to see some of the top categories, such as, do you want soles? Do you want heels? Do you want, dirty feet? Do you want socks? We have every single category there. And if we don't have a category, you can just message our customer support and we'll get that added instantly. And then we also have some featured models. We are working on some big partnerships right now for some kind of big name models, such as Lindsay Ryder, Rebecca Blue, and a few others that I won't go into too many details, but they're going to be kind of featured on our homepage, as well as some other premium sellers, to really show that, hey, we are a legit company. We have some of these big name models, but we also appeal to a lot of these amateur sellers. Now, this new homepage, the navigation will also be a lot easier for buyers to find their ideal content. The search process is a lot easier. You can type in different keywords or just type in a sentence of what you're kind of craving that day or that night, and find that content right there. And we also split it up. If you click on a category such as soles, we'll split it up into 3 different sections, such as the seller, like seller profiles, photos, and videos. And that means all the sellers' profiles that appear are ones that have soles in their description. Also means all the photos and videos you see have the word sole mentioned in that description. That just makes it easier for these buyers to find the exact content they want, spend less time kind of searching around. And you also know that if you want dirty feet, you can see a seller who actually has that type of content rather than messaging a seller and saying, hey, I want, dirty feet, or I want, your feet tied up. And the seller might be like, oh, I'm not comfortable doing that. But that won't happen with this new navigation, because the only sellers you see in that search are ones that have stated in their bio that they're comfortable with that content.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now it kind of sounds like, and you've already kind of alluded to this, that a lot of the features are coming from feedback from your members, right?
Correct. So, that's the thing about the kind of my goal since, starting the company. I've kind of wanted to build this community based on the feedback. And unlike some of these, really big corporations who kind of just say, hey, here's the new features, deal with it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Doesn't matter. We're kind of on the page where, because we have such a large social media following, any new design or feature or update, we always get that community's feedback in terms of, hey, what features, what designs do you guys want? And then we post it to our social medias, our Twitter, our Instagram, and say, hey, give us your feedback. What are your thoughts on this? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And that way, the community really feels like they're part of something bigger than just this platform. It's they actually feel like they're involved in making it, because in a sense they are. We listen to all their feedback, and by doing this, we really make sure that we're making the product for our community how they want it, not how we think they want it. Because I could think, hey, they're going to want this, and then we spend a month developing a new feature, push it live, and all of a sudden users are like, we didn't ask for this, we don't want this. So really making sure we listen to users' feedback, and if there's any bugs or issues, having them just message our customer support. We respond to every single Twitter DM or email we get to make sure that every user is heard.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you think about it, wouldn't it be nice if you could make Facebook the way you wanted it, or Twitter the way you wanted it, and people do take ownership of things when they feel like they have a voice. So I really think that's sick. Now, besides all that, which that's a lot, what separates you guys from other platforms currently on the market?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Well, I'd say to kind of start is our focus on, the niche content of feet. I know there's a lot of different websites out there, but what kind of separates us again from, I'd say, many vids, clips for sale, OnlyFans, is in a sense the kind of stigma that goes with it. I know a lot of these people who are kind of the amateur foot sellers who are very new in the industry. Think of, a girl in college who might just want some extra money for the bars, or, someone who needs help paying rent. But,
as a recent college graduate, you can't imagine something like that, right?
As a recent college graduate, I experienced it, and I have a lot of friends. So, it's kind of one of those things, when I first built it, obviously there is all those models who have, that experience and have, platforms on these different clip sales who've, worked in the adult industry for years. And, we have the utmost respect for them. And we also, built a platform for them, but we also, are building it for these girls who, may not be comfortable, making an OnlyFans or a clips for sale or a many vids, because, hey, they just want to post photo of their feet. So, it's not something that, they may regret down the road. It's not something that, other people may consider bad. It's just a picture of your feet. So it's something that, the stigma of, oh, hey, like she has an OnlyFans, because we're starting to see that, at least in college, it was definitely prevalent. So it's one of those things where we don't have that stigma, but we're also trying to get rid of that stigma as a whole. We kind of emphasize the whole, hey, sex work is real work. So, we support all types of people, whether you're, a cam model doing full nudity, or just, someone taking photos of your feet. We want to end the stigma of, people saying, oh, that's so weird, or, oh, we don't respect you, because at the end of the day, they're still people too. They're real people. So, being able to, kind of knock down that barrier first with, like, selling feet pics and get rid of that stigma, and then moving to a much bigger stigma that is, the sex industry, and having that negative stigma that some people may have, which we just disagree with. Finally, I will say one of the big things that kind of sets us apart from the other competition, or these big, companies, is the fact that, you can email our customer support and in honestly less than a couple hours get a response. Whether it's, a new feature you want added, a design you want fixed, if there's any issues with billing, payments processed, anything. I myself, the CEO and founder, handle all the customer support, because I think it's important that, if you're going to be contacting the company, you are speaking with the founder, so I can make sure that I get your questions answered and make sure that your inquiries are taken seriously. So I don't know another big company that has their, CEO doing customer support that also is able to kind of handle, expand, and grow the business. But anytime you're emailing with customer support, you're speaking with me, so I can get your questions answered and your problems solved.
Now, you were just talking about sex work and all that. Do you guys allow nudity, or is it just foot content?
So we don't allow nudity yet. One of those large reasons being we are just focused on feet content itself. And again, some of the partner banks that we're working with, we're not approved for nudity. But again, we are open to that down the road based on user feedback. But one of the big things when we were applying for different banks to kind of process and send payments out was talking with our users and saying, hey, do you guys want us to allow nudity, or do you want to keep it just a foot website? So some of the feedback was, keep it just feet. And that's how we're starting now. That's another thing that kind of separates us from these other websites, because when you come to Feet Finder, you're coming for feet. If you want nudity, there's plenty of other websites. But again, we're not opposed to down the road potentially adding that. But for now, yeah, we do not allow nudity at the moment.
Okay. So would you consider it an adult company or not?
So Feet Finder is kind of in this gray area where, at the end of the day, yes, we are an adult company, but it's still in this gray area in the sense where, hey, we don't, allow nudity. It is, just feet pics. You can see pictures of feet in magazines, on TV, of people of all ages everywhere. So it's one of those things where, feet are everywhere in society, and it's not going to be like, oh, hey, you need to wear socks, you can't show your feet. But it is also one of those things where, it is, catered to people who have a foot fetish. And at the end of the day, what they do with those photos obviously is, their own, kind of whatever they want to do with them. But so I guess in a sense, yes, it would be considered a fetish website there. So that's why it is kind of this gray area in terms of, we don't allow nudity, but it is still a fetish website. So I would consider Feet Finder adult, but it is, kind of something where we're trying to end, that stigma of people who may not want to be on an adult site because, hey, it's feet pics. It's not bad.
Now, what is your end goal with Feet Finder?
That's a great question. So, our kind of goal with Feet Finder has always been to create a safe and secure environment for people to buy and sell their feet content. We want whenever someone thinks of, feet pictures, feet videos, if they want to sell feet pictures, if they want to sell feet videos or buy feet pictures, we want them to think, hey, Feet Finder is, the place you can be. It's safe. We also kind of want to build to potentially expand to other fetishes, of which we don't have any specifics yet. But we definitely want to make it that kind of one-stop shop for all things feet, whether it be, feet pictures, or someone wants to sell socks or shoes. That's definitely in our roadmap. Again, we definitely take things slow here at Feet Finder in terms of pushing out new updates, because we want to make sure we focus on one thing at a time and get it right and get the user's feedback and make sure it's good, rather than saying, hey, we're going to add, the ability to sell socks and shoes and all these new features, and then, end up saying, hey, guys, we actually can't do that. So our goal is always to under promise and over deliver. But at the end of the day, we really just want to end the stigma that people have in terms of, hey, selling feet pictures is weird. Now, that stigma already is changing. We see it a lot in recent times in terms of like a college campus going around saying, oh, hey, like, how do you make money? It's, oh, I sell feet pictures. And there's always going to be people who may think of that as, weird or not a real job. So, our goal is to get past that stigma. And again, as I mentioned, eventually push into that kind of sex work industry. Like, hey, this is, real work. These are real people. This is a real job. And that's kind of our goal, is to, really show people that, this is a serious industry, and we want to be treated equally.
Absolutely. Now, do you think your age and inexperience in the industry puts Feet Finder at any kind of a disadvantage?
I do not. I definitely am new to this industry, and being a college grad, definitely on the younger side. However, I think I've done a good job of surrounding myself with people who have experience in the industry, whether it be, getting people on my team who have a foot fetish, or, talking with models who have years of experience selling feet pictures and on cam websites. And just making sure to surround myself with those types of people who who have, that experience has been really helpful for me because, I'm able to avoid problems that I would have made if I hadn't had, them kind of helping me and kind of whispering in my ear in terms of, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. I also attended the XBiz online convention, which was the one supposed to be in Miami. Met a lot of great people there who've all been extremely helpful. The folks over at Love Her Feet, I know we sponsored their podcast. They're super nice and super helpful in terms of bouncing ideas back and forth. Austin over at Mr. Skin has been incredibly helpful as well.
All good people,
amazing people. And also the team over at SegPay, who's our kind of new payment facilitator, has, it's just a great community and people who are always willing to help. So I've been so thankful for, these different people in the industry who have I kind of surrounded myself with to help. So while I am, young, while I am new to this industry, I'm surrounding myself and getting advice from people who are, older and have that experience. So I wouldn't say that my age and, newness into the industry affects, how successful Feet Finder can and will be.
It sounds like really your inexperience has been a benefit because you go into it with a clear view. And I'll also say to you that the people that you just mentioned are people that I would have sent you to if you had asked me. So I think your instincts are very, very good.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, it may, again, as you mentioned, it kind of having that inexperience almost plays to my advantage because, unlike, coming in this industry and saying, hey, I think I know a lot already, I got a degree in this in college, or I've already worked a few businesses in this industry. If I had that mindset, I don't know if I would have still attended these conventions and networked as hard as I did. So it's definitely been, honestly, a blessing in disguise, not having that initial experience and being able to reach out to these people who are honestly experts in their industry and can really give some valuable feedback and advice and just, be a kind, down to earth person. They don't necessarily expect anything in return. They just want to see you succeed, which I can't tell you how grateful I am for that.
We're a pretty nice group of people once you get to know us.
Well, definitely. And I remember when I was first posting on, XBiz, you were one of the first people to kind of reach out and spark up a conversation. So I definitely appreciate that. As far as, that just goes to show, you've been so nice in terms of, just inviting me on this podcast and, anytime I have advice and questions. So I really do appreciate that.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do. We have a general consulting company too. And, I have a lot of young entrepreneurs or first-time entrepreneurs. Not all of them are young. A lot of them are older like me, and they need help. But I think you've done just fine. You have done just fine on your own. So your instincts, like I said, are very, very, very good. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned while working on Feet Finder so far?
I'd say the most valuable thing I have learned has definitely been, the ability to negotiate for myself and for my business. A lot of times when we're speaking with partner companies or potential advertisers, a lot of the time it's kind of just like, hey, here's, our price for if we want to advertise for a month, or hey, here's the billing rates we can give you for this month. And, that's something I didn't really learn in school in terms of kind of negotiating, saying, hey, we actually aren't able to afford that, or hey, would you guys be able to cut the cost down to this, or hey, we've been advertising with you guys for 3 months, we haven't really seen the results, would you be willing to negotiate the price? And that's something I think is so valuable because we have noticed there's times where there's a very kind of critical and important partnership that we really needed, and their initial offer wasn't necessarily something that made sense, but being able to kind of negotiate that and kind of work around and figure out a more beneficial partnership, in turn, ended up working in the long run. And, because these different companies were very open to a discussion, we were able to get a deal done that was, very beneficial for both sides and doesn't, burn all of our cash, which has been something that's been extremely helpful. because, in the beginning, it was kind of one of those things where anytime someone said, hey, like, if you want to market with us, here's our prices. And it was kind of just like, okay, that sounds good. And then, slowly as time went on, it's like, hey, no, you need to negotiate for yourself and for this business to make sure that, anytime someone throws out a first number, there's always room for negotiation. But it's
in most cases, yeah.
but yeah, and it's also, a fine line too, where, you don't want to, offend them. There's been a lot of times where, someone might say, hey, we want to, do a partnership, but we're looking for, $1,000 a month. And that might be something where, hey, we can afford that. And we could only afford, 500 or 200, but like, you don't want to offend them by going too low. So that was something that I definitely had to work on in terms of, I don't want to offend, this person or this company by, going too low, but I also need to be realistic about what my business can afford at this time with this partnership. So, negotiating for myself and for my business has been huge, and it's something I obviously have a lot of room still to improve on. But it's been great, kind of, being able to advocate for yourself and for your business.
Absolutely, you do very well shopping in Thailand, by the way.
Thank you.
It's like, oh, that's 200 baht. Oh no, how about 100? No. How about 190? No, it's okay, thank you. And you start to walk away, and they go, no, wait, 150.
Exactly.
120.
Exactly.
Nah, it's okay. Okay, 120. Okay. You steal from me. Okay, 120. I lose money, but it's okay. 120.
Definitely, yeah. Well, the first time I actually went to Mexico, I was very young. I was in like middle school, and I didn't even know negotiating was a thing. And I saw this little banjo, and I really wanted it, and it was like $20. So I was like, hey, like, how much is this guy? It's like $20, and I was like, okay. And then, one of the first things my dad told was like, whoa, like, that's not the set price. You need to negotiate. I was like, I need what? Like, he said it's $20 because you're just used to it in the U.S. Like, hey, the price is here. He said it's $20. Like, you're not going to go to like a Walmart and start negotiating for a football or something. That's just not how it works. But it was definitely an interesting kind of first experience into the negotiation aspect.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Patrick, I'd really like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk, and I hope we'll have a chance to do this again really soon.
Thank you. And for anyone listening, you can check out our website, FeetFinder, at feetfinder.com. And our Twitter is just at FeetFinder. Instagram is at GetFeetFinder. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at patrick@feetfinder, or just check out our website and email the customer support. Always love the community. And again, Bruce, thank you so much for having me on, for being such a great mentor throughout this whole process. Looking forward to the things to come and the business relationship to progress.
I love the shameless self-promotion. That's right out of a page in my book, my friend.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
My broker tip today is part 5 of how to buy an adult website. Last week, we talked about how to determine the value of a site, how to negotiate the sale, and how to get to the point of drawing up an agreement. So now you're talking to your attorney and you're having them draft an agreement. What should be in it? Well, your attorney will guide you through the legal side, but here are some considerations to keep in mind from a buying standpoint. What is the date you'd like to close? Make sure you know that you'll have the money to either pay the deposit or the entire amount of the purchase by that date. I've had buyers who aren't ready, and that just causes issues. In fact, I'm going through some of that right now with a couple of my deals. Make sure that all the assets you're purchasing are in that agreement, such as every domain included in the sale, processing and payment accounts, relationships with vendors, all records including 2257 data, software to run the sites, and any other assets such as source code for the sites. Of course, it should spell out any payment schedule if there is one. Who's responsible for closing costs, such as paying for escrow? And there are always terms that are unique to yours and the seller's situation. This assumes you're the party responsible for drawing up the agreement. If the seller is drawing up the agreement, then it's important that you express all of this to your legal representative so that they can check the seller's agreement and see if any changes are necessary. We'll talk about this subject more next week. And next week, we'll be talking to Chris Roger of Pays. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Patrick of Feet Finder. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.